Jamali.
Hey, what's good, everybody? This is another episode of The Watch. My name is Helen Harimbi, and South Africa is still in lockdown. And I think one of the saddest things about lockdown is that you can still lose in lockdown. And this week we lost a legend, a pioneer, a trailblazer, Vinolia Mashego. Of course, to the rest of us, she was V-Mash, you know? I think she was the embodiment of carefree black girl and black girl magic. So in this episode, we're just honoring the giant by sharing some of our favorite V-Mash on-screen moments and also another recognizable face about what V-Mash meant to her. And here is my talk with Moozlie. Moozlie! Thank you so much for joining me during this lockdown.
It's not like I had much else to do. It's all good, girl. How are you doing this lockdown?
I am otherwise good, except for the fact that I need a haircut. But other than that, I'm good. How are you doing?
Notice my rap. I know I'm starting on you, but there's a lot going on under there that nobody's trying to see right now.
But at least you can finesse it.
Yeah. Oh, I'm a king finesse. Don't worry about me. Don't worry about me. I'm a finesse of life.
Yeah. What is this lockdown teaching you about your creativity? Do you find that you're writing a lot more, or do you find that you don't want to do anything?
I think it's just about getting there. You know, I always liked to joke to either my manager or producers or whatever, when like, when you send your beats or you should be working on songs or whatever. But I would always, I'm waiting for God to put the songs in my heart. You know, I'll just always be waiting to be moved by this grand spirit of, okay, it's time to record now. But this time taught me that, nah, you can just do it anytime, anywhere, anyhow. You know, luckily I've got a setup upstairs, so I've got a producer in there who's helping me. Shout out, Vinolia, I see you, my boy. He's helping me just put some of my ideas together, getting them out of my head, hearing them through a speaker. So it's been interesting.
Yeah. So, I mean, that sounds like a fun process, but something that's not so fun is that we've lost Vinolia Mashego, an icon, not just of presenting, but I think of like black girl magic and carefree black girl.
Sure.
Can you remember the first time that you actually saw her on screen?
Oh, it would be difficult to remember the first time because I was so young when she was on screen. And that's just like, I may not be the oldest person in the world, but it just goes to show just how long, you know, her legacy has been. I was like a little kid, primary school when she was on TV, and she was amazing. I can't remember the exact time, but I just remember like Friday night, Iyo Bangani Iyo, it is going down, you know?
Yeah, no, she was incredible. Did you find that when you watched her on screen, you felt like, man, I want to do that?
You know what? I just like how she made the Miss Gem Alley scene, because that was closer to something that I could achieve, you know? Yeah. In terms of presenting, all I ever wanted to do was be on Yo TV. I never thought beyond Yo TV, because people like her just made it seem like this wild, iconic, like extra thing that as a young kid, I was like, I'm not sure that I could really do that. But there was just something about the way that she interacted with the Miss Gem Alley competition that always stood out to me. That was something that I wanted to do. Like, I wanted to be a part of that pageant, just to like meet her, get some nice Jamali chocolates, and just like be in the mix. And I think that just also is just such a testament to how amazing and mystical she was. Like I never even thought that I could ever be anything like that, because she was just so next level, you know?
Yeah. You know what I find interesting about presenting, right? Everybody thinks presenting is like so easy or whatever. And it's such a thankless job, right? Because you're saying on Friday nights, you knew that, yo, I need to be watching this show. But people don't think about the work that goes into that. They don't think about the personality, how hard it is. So would you agree with what I'm saying? Or do you feel like, no, guys, presenting is easy?
Um, I wouldn't say it's easy. I think a lot of people think it's easy because presenters that are good make it look easy. But it is not an easy job to do at all. And I think it's such a thankless job that that's what pushed me to actually want to be a musician, because I'm just like, I'm here for 10 hours and it's like, I'm sitting with the famous people, but I'm not like as famous as the famous people, but I'm cool with the fans, but I'm like not with the fans. Like you're the mouthpiece, you're the person in the middle, you know? And
Yeah.
a lot of the time people take that person for granted. So I always say this about presenters, and I always say this about hosts. People underestimate the role of a good presenter on a show. People underestimate the role of having a good host on a show, because essentially they're the lifeline. They're carrying this thing from the beginning to the end. They're helping you build up, and even at the end, they're helping you to remember that, hey, come back next week. It's not like this big party that has just ended and now it's done. They always leave you wanting more. There's a familiarity that you had with your favorite presenter. They also are a trusted source of information. Do you know what I mean? Especially in this day and age. But Vimesh, at the time, when she would sit there and talk to those people, they weren't giving her the spice because, like, she's on TV or whatever. It's because they knew her, that was their girl. Like, they were just with her the night before. They're like, girl, you're handling this shoot like this, and you know we were getting down last night. Like, you know what I mean? So you actually have to invest yourself beyond your job. Yes, there's those hours where you're on set and you're shooting and it's action and it's links and it's this and it's that. But you have to do the back work as well. You have to read blogs, you have to know what's happening in the scene. And then you also have to have kind of a personal working relationship, especially in the music space with artists. And those are the easiest relationships to maintain, do you know what I mean? Because everybody's doing their own thing, they're in their own space, but you can tell when a person has that vibe, has that bond. I think after V-Mash, one of my favorites who has that thing going on is Scoop. He's like really, really super plugged in. And I didn't even know until I heard about V-Mash's passing that I actually was so super influenced by her as a presenter. But she was like super influential. It's kind of like with music when people are like, oh, I like John Mayer. You don't actually know that you're actually influenced by the Beatles as well. Do you know what I mean? It's like there's that backward, there's that layered effect, and she will go down in history as one of the most influential presenters for sure.
Yeah, an icon without a doubt. So I like that you mentioned that you went into music after television, right? Because did you know that Vinolia actually started out in music?
Oh, I didn't.
So she used to make like bubblegum music in the 80s. And like in 1988, she had her first album. And then on her second album, she had a song called Suna Papa. Yeah. But then obviously she went on and found television, and really like that is where she truly soared. So yours is the inverse, right? You started out in television and you went with the music. What is it that makes you feel like the TV can pause for now? What is it about music that makes you love it so much?
First of all, I'm going to keep it 100 with you. There isn't a show on television that I'm like dying to present. And I remember like coming up, I wanted to be on every show. I went to an audition for 50-50. I couldn't even speak Afrikaans, but I was trying to be on that show. Do you know what I mean? So that kind of really, really changed for me. I think the production value is not what it used to be. The reaction people are trying to get from audiences is not what it used to be. And I think obviously the introduction of the internet and social media and Netflix and all of these things that you can just conjure up. I'm just now talking about shows that would have a presenter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People don't really suspend themselves in those kind of shows. People watch series that has episodes that they can just watch for hours and hours and hours. You know, the kind of work that we do as presenters, it's a bit different from that, you know? So I'm finding myself having to write my own television concepts if I want to be entertained by TV anymore.
Yeah.
Also, the thing about being a television presenter is that you have to be tied to a television network. And TV networks aren't necessarily the nicest to TV presenters. They rely on them a lot. They use them a lot. But they don't show them the most love, you know?
Yeah.
And it doesn't necessarily need to be financially, just in terms of like other opportunities to grow. Like, you guys on the inside of this machine, you know what's happening, you see what the viewers are into, you know what they like.
Yeah.
But you're not letting me be privy to the information to grow myself, not only as a presenter, but just as a Black creative. You know, there's so many things that I can do. So
there's no reciprocity.
Yeah, like I'm not so into that so much. It's very different from when I started, you know.
Yeah.
Also, just when you work for television network, you just have to like, you know, you represent these views, and you can't say what you want on Twitter. And could you imagine if like AKA was the presenter on some TV show? How many times would they have been fired? Like, how many times? You know, you just have to go. Yeah, you have to just be aware of who you hang out with and the way you represent yourself, and you know, and it's just also just a lot, because it's not really who a lot of people are. You know, a lot of creators, a lot of presenters just like to immerse themselves in the world that they're into, what they're talking about, and immersing yourself in that world will see you doing like a lot of things that a person at a television network may not necessarily understand or identify with in that moment. They don't know that you have to like live this life so that you can give them this nice 10-second link. And they just receive this link and like, oh, you're great. You just killed that link, but they don't know why you killed that link. They don't know what goes into that, you know?
Yeah.
And with music, I can just be like, what's up? You know what I mean? And people are like, oh, she's bad. That's a bad girl. I'm with her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when your presenter is kind of just like, oh, no, you don't do that. You don't do that. You must just be this sweet. And I just feel like it's so weird. Maybe that actually that notion of this it girl that's got it all together kind of came after Vimash, because she was like kicking butt, yo. She wasn't listening to nobody. She knew exactly what she brought to the show. She bought it every single week. And she knew that you're not going to get this from somebody else.
Yeah.
You can try. Like, you can try. If anything, if you're going to bring people in, they need to be able to work with me. But I mean, we've really kind of lost that now. Like, now people just like jumping in and out of shows that have nothing to do with them, that they don't really care about. And it's just not authentic anymore, you know?
Yeah. I mean, she definitely was one of a kind, one of the original bad girls. And I feel like we're going to see a whole lot more of who you really are in your upcoming music, because you gave us Victory. And now it looks like you're working on other music when we look at your social media. Are you?
Yeah, I'm working a lot on music. I'm actually just about to drop a new single. It was actually produced by Zuchi Coke Dope. Super excited about it. It was the first time that I was able to work with him. And it was cool. I didn't really know what to expect going into studio with Zuchi. All I know is what I've seen. And this is like now post-anxiety. So I'm like,
yeah,
oh, this guy. He's got insane anxiety and he's a musical genius. How am I going to be able to just penetrate? And he said to me, if you come into the session like just with an open mind and you just are willing to listen, you're going to come out of it with something dope. And luckily for me, because I don't have like a large musical background, all I can do is listen. All I want to do is learn. So we got like a banger, an absolute banger of a song.
When is it?
as soon as possible. We're finishing the artwork this week. That's the deadline I'm giving myself. So we're going to finish the artwork this week. Once it's done, we'll upload it, however long the upload will take, because coronavirus. But so yeah, hopefully, like in the next couple of weeks, that'll be out. Project-wise, I'm probably not gonna do an album. I really want to do like a mixtape or an EP where I can just kind of be a mood. You know what I mean? Like say what I want, be what I want. I'm kind of getting into my Vinolia stage of my rap career, and I think on an album, you don't want to offend too many people. You don't want to turn too many people away with your arrogance and with your harshness. But I feel like with this project, it's just about time we just let people know what the fuck it is up. You know what I mean?
I totally hear you. And I can't wait to hear the new song. But more importantly, I can't wait to see you perform it in real life, not through a screen. That'll be
that will be amazing. That will be so great.
Thank you so much, Moozlie, for speaking to me. And I hope that lockdown continues to be good to you. And hopefully I'll see you very soon.
Thank you so much. Have a good day. And RIP Vimesh, you're an absolute legend. You inspired people who don't even know that they were inspired by you. And I think that's so beautiful. May your beautiful soul rest in peace. And yeah, let's just continue to celebrate.
Yeah, rest in power, Vinolia Mashego. And I think it's because she lived her life so boldly and so fearlessly that she gave many other people permission to do the same. I saw that somebody tweeted recently that there must be one hell of a party happening now that Vimesh has joined Brenda Fassie and Lebu Matosa in heaven. So on that note, thank you so much to Moozlie for sharing with us on The Watch. My name is Helen Harimbi, and I will see you tomorrow.